Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Natasha. I am Planted in Platinum. You can find me over on TikTok and Instagram for more planty content. In today's video, we're going to be looking at my 2024 Philodendron Collection. This has been a long time in the making and I'm really excited to show you guys all of my philodendrons. I did not realize how many I had until I put them all together in a group and now I'm kind of overwhelmed. But I've got big ones, small ones, ones that look like crap, ones that look amazing. I've got a variety for you guys today. So grab yourself a coffee, get cozy, and let's get right into it. All right, number one. Look at this guy, isn't he cool? I'm gonna take him out of his pot. This is Philodendron Holtonianum. And it is also known as the Tesla plant because of the T shape of the leaf. This is my most recent leaf. It is so pretty and so long, and it's got a new one on the way, which is really exciting. This is one that I just have on a little bamboo stake, but it clearly needs a repot and a bigger stake. I was doing an experiment with some of my philodendrons this year to see which ones would size up that are not on moss poles, and this one seemed to really not care at all. So I'm going to be keeping this one on a bamboo stake, but obviously a bigger one. And yeah, we're just gonna let her grow. I really like how glossy and slender the leaf shape is. I'm really into the slender leaves in anthuriums and philodendrons and even Hoyas. I think the slender leaves are just so cool. This one has got many leaves, as you can see. It's just going off and it's just been growing like a champ. I bought this from North Shore Tropicals in a live sale for $10, if you can see there. Probably, I don't know, maybe like 4 months ago, 6 months ago. I don't even know at this point, but it's just been growing. She's got it in a tree fern soil mix, and I just kept it in there and it's been doing just amazing. It just loves it. So I'm gonna have to repot this one soon. I'm in no rush though. I really am not. I can see roots along the sides of the pot, if you can see those. Yeah, so it's not like pot bound, but it does need a bigger stake. So I'm gonna have to switch out the stake and I'll probably just leave it for a bit and prioritize some of my other repots that I have to do. But I think this one is super cool and super unique and it was on my wish list for a really long time. So I was really happy to be able to acquire this one this year. Philodendron Holtonianum. Number 2 is my Burle Marx Mint, but I think mine may be reverted, which is okay. My friend Gems gifted this to me probably like 2 months ago, 3 months ago now. I mean, you can see a little bit of the mintiness on the leaf. If you look at it, it's kind of coming through, but it's definitely not what it's supposed to look like. I'll pop a picture up here for you guys to see what it's actually supposed to look like. So I think I'm gonna have to chop this one up and see what happens because I would love to have a beautiful Burle Marx Mint. I think they are gorgeous. We have some at the shop that I work at and I just love them. I swoon over them every time I see them. So right now I think we have a Burle Marx Green, but that is okay. We are going to chop and see what happens. I just have her in pond and no drainage and she seems to be loving life. She's got some good roots in there, but she's just not giving me that mint variegation that I so desire. Burle Marx Mint. Number 3 is Philodendron Bicolor. This is another one that I had on my wish list for a really long time. My friend Marco sent this to me in a package. I think it was like a year ago or almost close to a year ago. And yeah, it was a really big plant when I got it and it was kind of, I think it was unrooted. I had to restart it anyways. I can't remember, but this is what we've got so far. It seems to grow pretty slow. It's got the long slender leaves with kind of like the silvery Adabapoense color to them. And then the backs of the leaves when they come in are super red and none of mine are red right now, but the vein is red. I think that's super pretty. I love it when you can get a pop of color even on the back of a leaf. I think it's cool. And I also really like the silvery kind of leaf color. I think that that's really unique and adds just like a bit of color into your collection. But this one I'm really excited for. I'm not going to put this one on a moss pole either. I'm just going to try and let it size up on a bamboo stake, which I need to add into there. But if you have one of these, let me know if it's a slow grower like mine or if it grows like a weed. Maybe it just takes a while to get established. I'm not too sure. I have it in tree fern, pond, and perlite. I can definitely see a little bit of roots, but there's also a lot of algae, so I'm not even gonna bother trying to show you. We do have a little baby leaf coming in, which is so, so cute. You can see it right there. So I'm really excited to see this one grow. I've really wanted one of these in my collection for so long. So yay, we have one. And yeah, I will keep you guys updated on my Philodendron Bicolor. Number 4, look at this sad little guy. This one is Philodendron Sharoniae Goat. And yeah, if you know what a Sharoniae Goat looks like, you'll know that this is way too small. This is a very juvenile plant. I actually got this from my friend Sabrina in a purge like 2 years ago. It came with a huge leaf, and that leaf eventually died off, and I've been trying to grow it ever since. So my plan for this, I think what I'm gonna do is I kind of want to chop it down to the bottom and let it grow from the bottom because it's rooted in there. So if I do that and just maybe prop the top pieces into separate cuttings and sell them off or trade them, but I can get a moss pole in here and get this one growing up a pole. I'll insert a picture of what a Philodendron Sharoniae Goat looks like beside me and you'll know what I mean. It is actually quite a small little janky boy without a moss pole. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna chop this one down, get it on a moss pole, and get it growing up that pole. Because that, my friends, is not sufficient for me. Okay, number 5 is my variegated heartleaf philodendron. I just chopped this baby up, actually, because I chopped her before, and she started growing those wonky leaves. When you chop this plant, it grows like very deformed leaves. Do I have one to show you? I do. So it will start growing leaves that are like misshapen like this. I mean, they look kind of cool, but I don't know. And like this. So this is a propagation from this plant. Like the top of the plant literally looked way different than all of the cuttings that were coming off of it. All of the single leaf cuttings that I took. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep trying to grow her. I don't know if I want her to trail or put her on a pole, but I think for now I'm gonna let her trail and see what she does because I don't want to add any more moss poles into my collection right now if they're not absolutely needed. So I think this one will do fine trailing. I could even put it like on a trellis. That might actually look good. Do you guys have this on a trellis? If you do, please send me a picture on Instagram because I would love to see. I really like the colors of this plant, and when the new leaves come in, they come in like a maroony color, which is so cool. But like, look at that. It's so pretty. I don't really have many trailing plants, so I think this one would look really cute trailing in my collection somewhere. And this one needs a repot super, super bad. It's been in here forever, and it's just in a aeroid mix. So she's just living her life in an aeroid mix, hanging out on my Hoya shelf, being a rock star. Even like you can see this bottom leaf is kind of like a bit misshapen. They look kind of almost sick, but not really. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But I am a fan of the variegation on this. I think it's so pretty. It's like the Paraiso Verde variegation, but it doesn't revert in like 2 seconds. That plant is so annoying. I used to have one in my collection and I do not anymore because I cannot handle it. Drives me up the wall. But this one, my friends, is Philodendron Heartleaf Variegated. Ooh, you guys. I didn't realize I had 2 of these. Okay, so do you remember how I showed you my Philodendron Sharoniae Goat? This is a propagation. Because look what we have here. Don't ask me how I didn't know that I had 2 of these in my collection. I have been very preoccupied with my life lately. But this one looks so much better. I mean, it's not huge and it does need a pole, but it's looking a lot better than the other one. So I'm not going to number this because it already has a number. But I did want to show you that I do have a bigger plant of this. So that's so exciting. I don't think it's gonna grow bigger leaves. I really don't. Like this new leaf that's coming in is quite small, but I'll see when it grows. And if it does not come in big or bigger than its previous leaves, which I don't think it's going to, then I will add a pole to it. But this is a little bit of a bigger Philodendron Sharoniae Goat. Yay! Number 6 is my Philodendron El Choco Red. You guys, look at her. She's doing so good. I'm so proud of her. She was stuck in her juvenile phase for so long. I grew this plant from a wet stick that I traded my friend, and yeah, she has just been going off. She lived in my tent for so long because of the higher humidity. I wanted her leaves to unfurl properly because you guys know philodendrons, when they're in their juvenile phase, their leaves get stuck so easily and they like grow through each other and they just create a huge mess, which is so annoying. But this one finally passed through that phase. So I put her on her own little pole, which she is very rooted into, as you can see. And she's living in tree fern and pond, and she's got a new leaf. You guys, look at that leaf. Oh my goodness. Her tray has a bit of water in it, so I don't want to spill it. But look at that leaf. It's going to be huge. I'm so excited. I'm gonna need to actually extend this pole soon. And the back of the plant has like that red color, which is also super pretty. I think that is so cool. I love it. I love a nice velvety philodendron. I think that they're so nice. This one's getting a little bit of EFN. I'm gonna have to give it a wash down too. That is one annoying thing about philodendrons is the EFN. I cannot handle it. I literally scrubbed one of my plants down for like a half an hour before I brought it down for the tour. I'm so bad with keeping up with that. But Philodendron El Choco Red. Number 7 is my variegated Philodendron Micans, and this is the one with the yellow variegation. This one reverted on me, so I chopped it up and we have a new growth point and a leaf is about to unfurl from that. So I'm very curious to see what it's going to look like when it unfurls. Hopefully it's variegated. I know a lot of people have problems with their variegated Micans reverting and it's super annoying, but what can you do? She's just living in pond and I have her on a circular trellis. And these are all the wet sticks and it looks like they're starting to sprout, you guys. Oh my goodness. So I hope that I can get some more variegated pieces of this plant because I spent a lot of money on it and I don't want it to just end up reverting. So that would really suck. But you know what? Plant life, variegated plant life. If you are going to invest in a variegated plant, be prepared that it's going to revert or go fully variegated because that's just what they like to do. I will be constantly fighting the variegated plants in my house. But that one's not really much to see. I just wanted to show her because she's part of my Philodendron collection. So we're going to move along. Okay, number 8 is my Philodendron Domesticum variegated. Oh, she's so pretty. She was actually quite big before. I had her on a moss pole in my tent and she grew so tall. I chopped her up and I kept a cutting. And this was the one that I kept because I thought it had the prettiest variegation. But as you can see, we have ourselves a fully variegated leaf. But that's the only one on the plant. So I'm gonna let a couple more leaves grow and see what happens. That's a problem with the half moon variegation is they usually revert at some point. It's hard to keep a fully half moon plant because they do always revert, not always, but 90% of the time. But it's so pretty. I think the half moon plants are just gorgeous. Each leaf is just so pretty. I love it so much. This one here doesn't really look like it's a full half moon actually. If you look at this one, this is like the only one that's not super half moony. Oh, yeah. I'm not too sure. But I might have to chop her up again. We shall see. And she's just on a bamboo stake as well. This one I find really hard to keep the leaves nice because it's a half moon plant. So I think I want to put it into drainage and give it some silica and see if that helps. Every time I water this plant, it gets edema and the leaves go like translucent. And so they're starting to kind of look a bit damaged from that because I cannot find a happy medium with my watering style for this plant. I wonder if you can see if I show you close up. You can kind of see like right in there, the edema's coming through. So yeah, I think drainage is going to be her new life and silica eventually, but she's pretty. I love her. This is one that I'll probably keep in my collection for a while because I just love the pop of colors on her. And if she doesn't revert on me, I'll be so happy. So we shall see how that goes. But this is Philodendron Domesticum variegated. I actually have a piece of her right here as well. This plant kind of reverted. It has one half moon leaf on it. right here, if you can see, and then the rest are green. So that's annoying. That is what half moon plants usually do. Be warned, be warned. Don't say I didn't tell you. Number 9 is my Halo Micans. You guys, I just was able to add this back into my collection. So I traded with my friend Dustin, Bags Plants, probably closer to 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half, for a really pretty Micans. I'll insert a clip of what it looked like here because I still have it on my Instagram so I can pull that picture. Oh, I was so excited because this was such a huge wish list plant for me, and it's so pretty. Like, look at that. That's just something else, right? So anyways, I let it grow out. All the leaves were variegated. It looked nice, and I kept chopping it and sharing it or selling a piece here and there. And eventually my plant reverted, and it did not grow any variegation back. And I was so sad, but I sold a piece to Nick and Corbin, NXC Plants, and they gave me this back because they knew mine variegated, and that was so nice of them. Thank you so much, you guys, if you're watching. I'm so happy to have this back in my collection. Oh my goodness. I find this plant doesn't like a lot of bright light, or it will sun stress like red. This leaf I think is dying off, but it's like that color of red that it will sun stress. So yeah, just keep it in like medium light or like bright and direct light, but don't let it sun stress because it takes away from the beautiness of the plant. It's so nice. I think I want to put this one on a circular trellis. I'll show you why in a minute. That leaf is not variegated, but that's okay because most of them are. Like, what the heck? They're so nice, and sometimes you can even get pink on them. Look at those 2 shades of green. Like, that is just gorgeous. If you guys don't have a Halo Micans, go get you one. They are literally so pretty. So pretty. I love the long slender leaves again. Like, I think that's just gorgeous. But this one is in, oh gosh, Perlite and Laverock and Leca, I think. And then it spilled, so I put some tree fern and pond on the top. So it's in a variety of substrates, but she's doing good. I just have her on the shelf behind me at the very top, just trailing down, and I think she looks so cute there. So number 9 is Philodendron Halo Micans variegated. Number 10 is my Philodendron Felix. You guys, I don't think this plant's gonna root. It was a bigger plant when I got it as well, but completely died back. Ew, there's a lot of algae in this cup. I can't even lift it to show you. I haven't changed the water in this for a little bit. There we go. But yeah, look at the stick. I don't think any roots are gonna come from that. I don't know. I even put some Osmocote in there to try to see if it would help, but nothing. Maybe I should throw it in my perlite prop box. Clearly the leaf is dying off. The leaf is not usually that color. So yeah, I don't really have much hope for this one, but I told you I was gonna show you all of my philodendrons. So here's my Philodendron Felix. Don't judge. But yeah, so I'm gonna change her water, probably put her in a humidity box and see if that helps. I'm not too sure. At this point, I'm kind of losing hope, but it's a fun challenge, so we shall see. Philodendron Felix. Number 11 is my Burle Marx variegated. Look how pretty she is. My friend Jams gifted this to me probably like 4 or 5 months ago. And she's just going off. Ugh, I love her so much. She's so pretty. Like, that variegation is so cool. This plant usually is notorious for reverting too. So every time I see a green leaf, I just cut it off. This plant has so many growth points that you can't even really tell if there's a leaf cut off, but there's definitely some leaves that need to get cut off. But look at the growth points along the stem. You can see that this plant just goes wild. Like, could you imagine running into this plant in nature and seeing like a forest of it because it just can't be stopped? Like, that would be so pretty. Oh my goodness. I would love to see that. But I really like the variegation on it. I like the yellow and the creams. I think that they're so cool. It's kind of like a painting. I just think it's something that adds a pop of color in your collection. It grows super fast. It's easy to propagate, but it's also easy to revert. So yeah, I don't know. I just kept mine on a moss pole to kind of keep it all together. I have a lot of sheaths to pick off of this, which excites me. I like doing that because I'm a weirdo. but I'll do that later. Anyways, so this is my Philodendron Burle Marx Variegated. She is on a moss pole. She's got a lot of roots in there. You can even see a huge one going up the back there. It's kind of a frosted moss pole, so it's not really easy to see in, but you can still see it. And she's very rooted in there, as you can see. She's just in my aeroid mix, my Coco Coir aeroid mix, and she is doing great in there, loving her life. So yeah, I'm gonna have to, actually, she still has a lot of her moss pole left. That's good. Yeah, this plant grows really close together, like the internodes are super tight. So maybe she'll stay on this pole for a while and just become a big, beautiful, bushy beast. Philodendron Burle Marx Variegated. Number 12 is my Philodendron Tortum. Oh, this was on my wish list for so long. I wasn't sure if I wanted it, and then I saw ferns and Charmaines, and I was like, you know what? Girl needs this plant. It is such a pretty statement piece, and it's just so interesting. And the way the new leaves come out when they unfurl is just so cool. I think it's beautiful. So I'm really excited to grow this one. It has very firm foliage, which I did not expect. And the roots are all growing up. So I don't know. Look at that, you guys. The roots are just growing upwards. So it's going to be fun to pot up. I do have to pot it up eventually. I'm just going to put it into tree fern and pon. But they've just got the coolest, like spindliest leaves. Like, what is that? That's so cool. I don't know, kind of reminds me of like Edward Scissorhands or something. It's very interesting and unique. Anyways, I love to propagate my philodendrons in water. I find they propagate very easily in water, except for my Philodendron Felix. So if you are looking to propagate your philodendron, just stick it in water. It's cheap, easy, you can see the root growth. Not much else to say about that. But yes, so I'm hoping to grow her up, and I do kind of want to put her on a pole. You know what? I'm going to try a bamboo stake with her, I think, because we do that before poles in my house just to see how it goes. But yes, I don't know what else to say about her. She's just so unique and cool, and I'm so grateful that I was gifted her to add to my collection because I'm really excited to grow her. Philodendron Tortum. Number 13 is my Philodendron Pink Princess, who I actually just chopped up. She had some leaves that weren't like super variegated, and I was just doing, you know, like when you are mad at someone and you just go into your plant collection and you just chop up a whole bunch of plants and propagate them? Well, I don't know if you know, but I do that. I call them my rage chops, and they're so cleansing. Oh, it feels so good to just chop a bunch of plants up when you're mad. Take my advice, try it, it's fun. But anyways, this is her bottom cut. I got this in a trade, and it looks like she's sprouting a new growth point. Can you see? Right there, right there. So I'm excited to see what that leaf looks like. I kept the bottom cut. I have a whole bunch of cuttings that I'm going to take to my planting market, and this one was my favorite. Look how cute that is. I love her. So I think I might keep this one and see if it pops another like half moon leaf or something. Me trying with the half moon variegation again. Yes, I know. But I do want to see how this one grows out. We'll see. I don't know. And then I'll keep whichever one out of these two that I like the most, I think. This one's still in the original soil mix as well. I should probably repot it, but honestly, it was fine in there. Like, it did not skip a beat. So, yes. Do you guys have your Philodendron Pink Princess on a moss pole, on a bamboo stake? How do you have them set up? Please give me all the details. If you have tried her on a bamboo stake and she loved it, let me know, because I want to do that too. I don't want to have another moss pole. Nope. So, number 13, the beautiful Pink Princess Philodendron. Number 14 is my Philodendron Summer Glory, and she is a crawler. You guys, I got this one from Charmaine, Unplant Parenthood, in a purge that she did. And I was so excited to have a couple of her plants, and this one almost rotted on me. Actually, it did rot on me. It rotted on me, and I had to bring it back to life twice. But as you can see, we've got lots of roots in here. I just put it in my prop box, and it literally did not take very long at all. It just started going off. Look at those pillowy, shimmery, not really shimmery, but like very dark green and glossy leaf. That is just so cool. I think it is so interesting. I think this is a hybrid of Philodendron Gloriosum and Philodendron Macaulay's finale. I think. I'll put the hybrid on the screen for you guys to see. I'm pretty sure that's what it is though. But the new leaves come out like a bubblegum pink, which is super pretty, and then they fade down. They turn to like a peachy kind of coppery color, and then eventually they fade down to green. And this is a crawling plant. As you can see, it's kind of crawling to the side in the pot there. So I'm gonna have to put it in a rectangular planter, which I do have some. And I'm gonna need to pot this up right away because it is drying up so fast in my prop box with a heat mat. I just have to water it all the time, but I should just pot it up and stop being lazy. That would be the right thing to do. But I love her, and I'm so glad I was able to bring her back from the brink of death. Philodendron Summer Glory. Number 15 is my Philodendron Jose Buono. Now, she has not always been this small. She was a giant. I think she had like 13 leaves or something, and they were all so beautifully variegated. Oh my goodness. So this is the butt cut. I did sell off all the cuttings, and yeah, she isn't super variegated yet, but she's just starting out. So I'm going to let her grow. There's 2 different little plants in there, as you can see, growing from each side of the stem. So yeah, maybe I'll put her in my tent and see if the warmth and humidity help her to thrive. I kind of want to take the cuttings out of this jar too and repot them. She was in this big jar because she was such a big plant. She's very well rooted in here. So yeah, I think I might separate the babies and then grow them out and see which one I like the best and let the other one go. And then I can use this jar for something else. And it looks like she is in pon with moss on the top. With leca, pon and leca with moss on the top. Philodendron Jose Buono. Number 16 is my Philodendron Gigas. Ugh, this plant is so beautiful. I love this philodendron so much. But as you can see, she is stuck in there. So I did just repot this one not too long ago. I took a whole bunch of cuttings because she was just kind of looking a bit janky. So I wanted to extend her pole, take the bottom cut, which I did, or take the top cut, which is this. And she had some roots, so I just put her into, it looks like she's just in pon, actually. She's just in pon and in drainage. Let's see if she has any roots. Ugh, I don't see any yet. But that's okay. She'll get them eventually. I don't remember how many roots she had, but I do know that she had some. So that is probably why that top leaf got stuck, because it's probably going a little bit smaller into the juvenile phase. I don't even want to try and get this out. I don't know if that's gonna, if it's gonna let me free her. Yeah, I'll do that later. But yes, I love the velvetiness of this one, the way the leaves lay so nice and flat. I love the backs of the leaves. I think they're so pretty. And I also love the new leaf color. It comes in kind of like a peachy, coppery kind of look. I actually have a picture of one of my props I'll put in over here to show you what the emergent leaf looks like. It's so gorgeous. But this one has been a harder one for me to grow. I think this is like my 3rd or 4th one, and this one I finally got the hang of. So if you are new to philodendron and you're wanting to try this, I would suggest waiting until you try a couple other philodendrons first. I mean, of course, go for it, but just be prepared. Just be prepared for the tears because it's kind of hard. Philodendron Gigas. Number 17 is my Philodendron Florida Beauty. You guys, I love her so much. She is another one that I grew from a wet stick from my friend Gems. I got her probably like 3 years ago now, 2 or 3 years ago, a long time anyways. And she was a big, huge plant too. And I chopped her up. She was in my tent growing wild. And this was one of the prettiest cuttings. I think the original leaf fell off because I dropped it, but look at the variegation. Like, it's just so pretty. Very nice. And she's giving me a new leaf at the top, and she's got this pretty pink sheath, which is just gorgeous. She's just so bright. I love bright plants. They just make me smile. And yes, I just have her on a bamboo stake too to see what she's going to do. So we shall see. Hopefully she sizes her leaves up and likes the pole or the bamboo stake life. That would be great. I love the leaf shape. I think it's super interesting. Any of the like Florida green varieties, I think they just have the coolest leaf shape, and it just changes so much as they mature. But that variegation, like what is that? It's so pretty. I just love it. It's so bright. And she's just in my aroid mix as well. And she's got roots to the bottom, as you can see. Yeah, she's doing really good in here. I think I'll always have this one in my collection. I remember when they were so sought after and like a one leaf cutting was like almost $200. Times have sure changed. Times have sure changed. One time, my friend who was a plant seller in my area, he sold a whole bunch of his Florida beauty cuttings, and they were massive and so beautiful. And my friend Katie was the plant taxi, so I had them at my house until she was able to take them to their owners and to have them in my tent. And I just had this jungle of beautiful Florida beauty cuttings, and I just felt so luxurious with all these Florida beauty cuttings in my grow tent. They're so pretty though. I can see why. They're just gorgeous. Philodendron Florida Beauty. Number 18 is my sad Philodendron Patriciae. She has been a problem child since I got her. I don't know. I've heard this one can be difficult though. And I was actually offered one recently by my friend Nick at NXC Plants, and I told him no because I already had one, because I'm going to be stubborn and I'm going to grow this thing. I'm going to make it look good. It's going to stop giving me these weird looking leaves. Like, what is that? I just repotted her and added her pole. Actually, she did have this pole before. So I just repotted her into tree fern and pond. Let's see if we can see any roots. Because she was in a terracotta pot before. So I think that was part of her problem. Oh, I can see a root at the top here. Do we see them anywhere else? No, I don't, but that's okay. I literally have not, it literally hasn't been very long at all since I repotted her. So I'm just kind of waiting and hoping that she does her thing. I really was so excited to get this plant, and it's just been so long of this. So I'm really hoping it was the terracotta pot she was in, and she was in my Coco Coir aroid mix too. So maybe she likes CalMag a bit more, because I just have her in tree fern, pond, and perlite now. So maybe that's what it was. Terracotta and the Coco Coir mix. But anyways, she's out of that, and she's going to have a better 2025, right? Right? Philodendron Patriciae. Number 19 is my Philodendron SP Silver. I got this from my friend Cliff, probably like 2.5 years ago, something like that. And yeah, I've been growing it and chopping it and growing it, and look at the new leaf. So pretty. Like, that is just something else. I love this plant so much. I think it's so pretty. And then the leaves are kind of silvery. So this one has many names. It's Philodendron SP Silver, Philodendron Columbia, and Philodendron El Guapo. So I call mine Philodendron SP Silver because that's what I bought it as. But yeah, this is the plant with many names. And I have her in one of my naked root planters. And I think she looks so pretty in this pot as well. The gray really goes with her beautiful coloring. It kind of makes her pop. I think is so pretty. And she is just in pond. It looks like, yeah, pond and perlite. So she's a crawler, so that's why I put her in here. But as you can see, her stem, it's not super crawly yet. So we'll see how that goes. She's kind of just like a little bush, which I can appreciate. I love my Philodendron SP Silver. I think it's so pillowy and so beautiful, and the emergent is so bright. Like, that's so pretty. And then that silver color that it fades down to, oh my goodness, what the heck. So yeah, I think I will probably keep this one in my collection for a while and see how big I can grow it. I have no idea how that's gonna go, but wish me luck. And this is a plant that does not like super high light either. It thrives with like medium light. So if you have it and it's not growing for you, try moving it away from the light and see what happens. And I think we shall move along to the next one. Philodendron SP Silver. Number 20 is my green Philodendron Micans. You guys, she's a little bush. Look at her. Oh my goodness. I have her on a circular trellis as well. And I think that I'm gonna have to chop her up because she's just going wild. And there's parts of her that aren't even on the trellis. They're just going crazy because honestly, those clips, like I'm gonna need to get bigger clips because they're not gonna hold all the vines. I just have like these Hoya clips, these black ones. And yeah, kind of not working anymore. So I might have to chop her up and start over or get something bigger just to secure her to the trellis more, or even get a bigger trellis. That's not a bad idea at all. Maybe I'll try to get a bigger circular trellis. Let me know if you guys are in Canada and you know where the big circular trellises live, because I should probably get one for her because I really like her look on the circular trellis. I think it's so pretty. Philodendron Micans has always been one of my favorites. Like, they've got the pretty backs of the leaves are red, and then we have the dark green. Mine is in kind of like medium to low light. That's why it's so dark. But a lot of people grow theirs to sun stress, and if you put it right in the sun, they'll turn like pink and red, which is super pretty as well. But I much prefer the dark green. I think that is just so gorgeous. And they grow like a weed once they get going. I just have mine in pond and no drainage, but this planter has a lip on it, so I should probably get it out of here one of these days. It's just not a priority, so one of these days I will. And my friend Katie bought me this beautiful white pot for my birthday, and I thought it was such a nice match. Look how pretty that is. I love that. I think they look really good together. But yes, this is my Philodendron Micans. All right, number 31 is my Philodendron White Knight. I almost sold this, but I decided to keep a piece. It's starting to like get a little bit of variegation back at the top there, but it's not super highly variegated. So I don't know, I just have it in pond, and it's got roots in there. Seems to be pretty happy. But yeah, like I said, this one is not super variegated, but I had this as a bigger plant before, and it had some really pretty variegation and some pink variegation too, which I think is so pretty. This is the one with the red stem, if you see there. And yeah, some of the red will present itself in the leaves as like pinky variegation, which is super pretty. I don't know, I might still let go of this one. I've posted it a couple times in my purges, but I've had this one for a while now, and it's just kind of attached to it a bit. So I'm going to keep it, grow it out for a little bit until someone wants to buy it. Philodendron White Knight. Number 32 is my variegated Melanochrysum. As you can see, it does not have much variegation. So that is the bottom leaf there, which is pretty. It does have some variegation for sure. And then we go up to this leaf, which doesn't have any. And then this leaf, which also doesn't have any. And then this leaf, which is beautiful, but no variegation. And the newest leaf has the tiniest bit of variegation right there. So I don't know if it's getting its variegation back or if I should chop this one up. What would you guys do? So I don't know, I kind of like the way it's growing. I think it's super cute. So I might give it a couple more leaves and see if I can get some more of that variegation back. But it's in a naked root planter as well, and it seems pretty happy. So I'm gonna leave it, it's in my tent, let it grow out and see if I can get more variegation on it. If you guys have one of these, do you find it one that is easy to lose its variegation, or is yours keeping the variegation? Maybe I should have bought a more variegated cutting, I'm not too sure. But needless to say, I love her, she's cute, and I'm gonna keep trying. Number 23 is props because I chopped my plant up. This is Philodendron Burle Marx Fantasy. And I do really want to get a nice plant of this going again. I had a really pretty big plant and then I chopped it up, and then the cuttings didn't do very well. So I propagated them and they've been in here for like 6 months, a year. I don't even know. Forever though. So they're slowly growing. I'm just going to keep them in my prop box until I can get them to fully grow out, and then I'll plant them up and see what happens. I think that the Burle Marx Fantasy is such a cool and underrated philodendron, so I'm excited to get this one super big again because it was one of my favorites. Philodendron Burle Marx Fantasy. Number 24 is my strawberry shake. Look at her. She looks like crap because she's losing her variegation. She's going, or she's not losing it. She's going all variegated, and the edema is wrecking her top leaves. I think I might just chop her down, and because the bottom leaves have some variegation on them, if you can see that. So I might chop these variegated leaves off and see what grows back, because this is really annoying. I've had this plant for like 2 years. I got it from my friend Gems, and I've just had nothing but issues with it. Issues. I have it in tree fern and pon, and yeah. Maybe I should take this cover pot from around it and just put a tray so she has more air to her root system, because it is one of those pots that have the holes in the side, an orchid pot. Maybe I should try that. But yeah, so she's not really much to show. And if that edema didn't wreck those pretty pink leaves, she would look a lot prettier. But at the same time, I don't want her to be all variegated. So I don't know. Do you guys have trouble with this one? This one annoys the living heck out of me. Philodendron Strawberry Shake. Number 25 is my Philodendron Gloriosum mutated, which I think is called the Aberrant. I'll put the name on the screen here, but I did not know it had a formal name. I think it is so cool. I just potted it into this rectangular planter because it's a crawling philodendron, as you can see by the stem. So I'm excited to get some big juicy leaves on her because she's just so unique. Like, what even is that? How cool is that? This was another one gifted to me from my friend Gems. She always spoils me. Oh my goodness, you guys, this plant is so cool. And I just have it in tree fern, pon, and perlite. It does have roots in there. It's gonna be hard to show you. Some right there. And it's just kind of like going down into the substrate. But this is a pretty fresh repot, so I'm gonna hope and pray that she does good and transitioned okay. I did take her out of my cabinet. Maybe I should put her back in, but I don't have any room in there. I have too many props again. So yeah, she's got like the really pretty, a lot of people think this plant looks sick, and I can see that, but I think it looks really cool. It's totally up my alley. I think it's really pretty. So if I could get some like chunkier variegation, would be really cool too. Like some thick patches of white. Like you see how there's a little bit of white on the leaf, like down in there. Imagine if that presented on the leaf in a more larger size. That'd be so cool. But yes, my Philodendron Gloriosum Aberrant, I think. Don't quote me on that. Number 26 is my Philodendron Squamicaule Pink. I love her so much. She's got the super fuzzy stems, if you can see that. Like, what the heck? So fuzzy. I love that so much. I think it's so cool. And her leaves come out like a bubblegum pink, and then they fade down. Like, this is a newer leaf. You can see it's fading down. Look at the underside of it. That's what it looked like when it was unfurling. And then they fade down. They harden off to this like almost black color. This really, really dark green. So freaking pretty, you guys. Oh my goodness. I've wanted this plant for so long, but I heard some like horror stories about it, so I never did get it. I had a Serpens. Didn't do well with that one. This one is way easier though. So I got this, I think this was a top cut from Jing Mum and Plants, or Plant Happens, on a North Shore Tropicals live sale. And I was terrified of it. I kept it in my tent for a while and then took it out and put it into my plant room probably about like 2 months ago now, something like that, a month and a half. And she's doing fine. She is very well rooted into her pole. And I think her pole is tree fern and moss, it looks like. And she's got lots of roots in her pot as well. And I just don't ever let her dry out. She's got a little bit of roots poking out of the bottom, but I don't want to tip it because I'll spill it everywhere. So yeah, this one, I'm so excited to grow big. I don't know, I've been debating chopping this and selling a piece, but I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna just leave it. It's so pretty. Literally probably my favorite philodendron. That's hard to say though. I don't know. It's so cool. It's got the hairiness. It's got the pink. It's so pretty. Like, it's so dark. Like, what the heck? Ugh, I just love it so much. I think it's so, so cool. And then you got the backs of the leaves are this pretty, beautiful color and so pillowy. Like, look at all those veins. Oh my God. You guys, they're like electric. Oh, you can't see the veins through the front. No. And this one I heard is notorious for spider mites, so I'm always spraying it down just in case. Same with my alocasias, because I don't want a spider mite infestation. So yeah, I've just been doing that and hoping and praying she doesn't get spider mites. But my Philodendron Squamicaule Pink. Number 27 is my Philodendron Red Anderson. She's looking okay. This is another one I have had for a really long time as well. Oh, maybe I didn't get my strawberry shake from Gems. I think I might have got it from a different plant friend because I know I got this one from her. And I always had them kind of growing side by side because I think they're super pretty. But look at that. The leaf's getting stuck. Jeez. That's so frustrating when that happens. I think the pretty colors on this plant just make it so unique. Like it's got the pink, the green, the minty green, and the white. And like it's so pretty. This leaf is obviously dying off. Some of them come out just white. Then we've got like the pink, like that is a pretty leaf right there. I just want mine to grow big and beautiful like ferns. Her Red Anderson is goals. It's so nice, but it's got some really pretty colors on it. And you know, guys know I'm a sucker for the pretty colored plants. It's got some roots in there you can see, and it's in tree fern and pond and perlite, just living her best little lifey. But this is another one that I've had for a long time, a couple of years, and it did not do well for me, but it's starting to do better, so that's good. And at least it's not reverting on me like my strawberry shake. So annoying. But yes, Philodendron Red Anderson. Should I put her on a pole or a stake or leave her? What would you guys do? Let me know in the comments. Number 28 is my Philodendron Esmeraldense. Number 28 is my Philodendron Esmeraldense in all her glory. Look at her. She is doing so good. She's just in no drainage with tree fern, pond, and perlite. She's got herself a moss pole. And yeah, her new leaf came out kind of mangled, but I did just extend her pole, so I might have damaged it while I was doing that, but it's okay. She's still pretty. And honestly, when this was unfurling, it looked like it was gonna brown and die off, and it didn't, so that was good. I'll take it. I will take it. But Memo, Houseplanty Goodness, has a huge Esmeraldense. Oh my goodness, it's massive, you guys, and I want mine to grow big like that, but he obviously has a big, huge greenhouse, so we'll see, we'll see. But this one was kind of hard for me to grow. It took forever to get out of the juvenile phase, but once it started growing, it's just not stopping now. And it's got the pretty red backs of the leaves, if I can show you. See? Like, that is just gorgeous. Oh my goodness. So yes, this is one that I want to turn into a philodendron tree. I really hope that she does well for me, and I want to see those big, beautiful leaves. I think they're just stunning. This plant's already stunning. I'm pretty happy with her progress. Philodendron Esmeraldense. Number 29 is my Philodendron Verrucosum. I had a huge Verrucosum. You guys know I did chop her up. I sold some cuttings, and I water rooted some. Like, look at this. Oh, that water's yucky. Oh, if I can get it out. Like, I need to pot one of these up very soon. Oh, they're tangled. No. Okay. Anyways, there's this one here that I have, if I can show you proper. That one, which is super cute, super rooted. And then we have this one. Look at all those roots. And she has got a beautiful leaf and another little cutie growing there, and she's got another one on the way. Philodendron Verrucosum has always been one of my favorite philodendrons because it just looks so unique and different. It also has the fuzzy petioles, which is super pretty and super vibrant. They're like orangey red petioles with green hair, which is so cool. And just like the contrast of the leaf, like it just looks so shimmery and pretty. I love the Verrucosum. I know there's many different varieties. Mine has kind of got like a little bit of red on the back. It's hard to even see on camera. It doesn't even look like there's any, but there's like a very faint red on the back. So I'm not sure exactly which subspecies my Verrucosum is, but I know there are many Verrucosum subspecies. So it'd be kind of cool to try a couple different other ones as well. Maybe that'll be something I do in the future. But I do love me a good Philodendron Verrucosum, and I can't wait to get this baby back on a pole and grow her big. Wild Ferns is looking so pretty. Like, that is goals. Goals. Number 30 is my Philodendron Billietiae, and this is one that I'm trying to sell or give away or something because I've decided I don't want it anymore. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's got this wingspan and it's growing in all different directions. And I just got this because I wanted to get a variegated Billy one day and I wanted to see if I could grow the regular one. And I'm just over it. I don't even know if I want the variegated Billy. I mean, if I got one in a trade or like for the right price, I probably would pick it up because I think their variegation's super pretty. But this one I'm just not super in love with. But it is really pretty. And when the leaves get huge, like they get big. So I don't know, mine's kind of just cute and dainty and growing all which way that you could even imagine in pond and no drainage. But yeah, so I don't know, I probably won't have her much longer, but it'll be nice to clear a space on my shelf for something different. Philodendron Billietiae. Okay, you guys, this is gonna be so hard to show you because it's so big. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to show you properly. But my last one, number 31, is my Philodendron Longilobatum. That's her newest leaf. This is the one I scrubbed EFN off for like ever. Look how big that is. It's insane. But this is another one that just grows in all which directions. Like, it's actually pretty wild. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep this plant in my collection for, just for that reason. But like, look at the leaf shape. It's so pretty. Oh my goodness. That is insane. Like, that is a huge leaf. A huge leaf. Oh my goodness. But yeah, this plant collects EFN like nobody's business. Every week I have to wipe it off. It's got a new leaf coming in here and it's gonna be massive. I just got a moss pole extension, which I think it's pretty happy with. I can already see roots in the pole. It's in tree fern and pond and drainage in a huge pot, and it's got lots of roots. So yeah, this is my last one. I bought her for the leaf shape. Actually, I did not buy her. I was gifted her from my friend Marcos, who so kindly gifted me some plants last year. That was so sweet. And yeah, so this one's a beast. So I don't know. I do want to keep her, but I might be moving soon. So I don't know if I'm going to have room for her. If I do, though, I definitely will bring her because she would be a really pretty corner plant just because of her beautiful, huge leaves. Like, she would be a beautiful statement piece. But she's just so big. And by the time I have to move, she's going to be so big. I don't know if she's going to fit in my truck. But I can always chop and extend, right? Or just take a cutting. We shall see. But I do love her. She is ginormous. She's probably my biggest plant. It's just wild how big these philodendrons can get. Like, look at that. Look at that. It's just so cool. Yeah, I really do like her a lot. She's just big. Oh, and now she's dripping. Well, that was the last one, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna send you to the outro. All right, you guys, that is it for me for today. Thank you so much for stopping by my little planty channel. It means the world to me. If you like this video, please consider hitting that like button down below. Leave me a comment. Let me know which collection video I should do next. I've done Hoya, Anthurium, and now Philodendron, so I could do Alocasia, Monstera, randoms, I'm not sure. Whatever you guys think, let me know down below in the comments because I'd love to hear. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the bell. You will be notified by YouTube anytime I post an upload. That would make my whole entire day. If you're looking for some more plant content from me, you can head over to my Instagram or my TikTok. I'm plantedinplatinum. I have more over on my Instagram. I don't really post too much on TikTok, but I would love to have you over on my other platforms as well if you are looking for more planty content. I'm going to love you and leave you, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!